Good morning, wonderful people. Good morning from the village. We are starting this very nice day in Kisumu, Karateng, in western Kenya. I know a lot of people have heard of Kisumu, especially if you're Kenyan, you've heard of Kisumu, but you probably have not heard about Karateng, which is in the middle of the northwestern part of Kisumu. We are delighted to be back joining you from the village. If you're joining us for the first time, I'm a Kenyan American who is doing everything possible to come back to this amazing place. I've been in transition for some time, and mine is to work through the process over a number of years. And in the process, I help returnees with the process of getting ready to return. And so I spent a few months right here in Karateng, and I also spent a few months in Long Beach, California. And part of doing that, I help folks with finding land, construction, real estate, and things of that nature. So if you need help with that, hit me up. So today, again, I want to take about 15 minutes of your time to talk with you about a topic that I wish I had known before starting landscaping work, especially with regard to the plants that I put in our property. As you see all around our home, let me just show you. You'll see plants everywhere. And right behind me is this is the water tower that holds also the caretaker house. And then on the back, this side here is my brother's home. So across the entire property, we've got tons of plants, both ornamental, native, fruit trees and all that. And so I've just realized that you need to be really thoughtful about the kinds of plants you put in your property, especially fruits. When I started this out, I was just picking fruits that I cared for. Like I enjoy mapera, which is guava. I like pawpaws, I like bananas, so I would just plant them randomly. But if you're just starting out, there are things that I've learned that I hope you put in place. That not all fruits are made the same. And as you plant them, you want to think about what does that mean for you in terms of your health and the other folks that you live with. So I'm going to tell you a few things that I've picked up over the years. And in the process, I'm out here to do my morning fruit run. There's always something ready to be picked in the village. As I can see, there's at least a couple of poi that are ready to be picked. So let me just show you what I'm looking at. Over here, as you can see, we have a few fruits that are ready to go. And this is part of what I do every morning. Look around and see what's ready, pick them up, and usually we have a lot more fruits than we can eat. So half the time the people that help us here will go with some of these, and other times it's our friends and our neighbors who end up taking many of these fruits, because we have a ton of fruits. And I say there's always something in season. So anyway, talking about fruits, I have almost, I would say, more than 15 types of fruits, both in my property, my brother's home right here, which is where I am, and in my mom's property, which is right across. We have at least 15 different species of fruits. Now, if you're planting fruits, what are some of the things you need to be thinking about? Number one, I've come to learn that it's good to plant the things you enjoy. Like I love mapera, so I'm going to plant some of those. However, if you load your compound with fruits that are probably not ideal for your healthcare needs, then you're going to be missing out. For example, some of us have to worry about issues of sugar. And while in general fruits are fine, the main challenge is that there are certain fruits that if you have issues like mine, because I worry about the risk of developing diabetes. And so if you have issues like mine, then not all fruits are going to be good for you, at least not in the volume that we take them. Because some fruits have very high glycemic index or very high glycemic load. So those ones you want to eat them very sparingly, or at least none at all. And interestingly enough, some fruits like watermelon have very high glycemic index, but very low glycemic load. So in today's video, I probably won't be explaining the difference between those two. You can actually look it up. Now look at that. I think with this one, I'm going to have to get a stick to grab them because it's fairly high. And by the way, I was planning to buy those contraptions from Home Depot for picking fruits until I realized that I can actually just have my guys make them here. So, wow, look at that. We don't mind sharing with the birds as well. So this is all poi being feasted on by our native birds. As I said, this is not a problem. We don't mind sharing because we have so many of these things. So many fruits all over the place. So I'm just going to pick a few and then so as I was explaining, if you are at risk of developing diabetes, or if you have diabetes, you want to be thoughtful about what kind of fruits you want to plant in your property. And so I just realized that for me, I know berries would do really well, especially you're talking about blueberries, strawberries, and things like that. So I planted everything else but berries. So I don't have berries at all in my property. In fact, the closest thing I think we ever ate to berries growing up was what we would call nyabende. And nyabende is probably Lantana camara, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on that. Yeah, so we don't have a lot of berries here, and if you are worried about blood sugar spikes, then berries are highly recommended. So I just noticed that I have all kinds of fruits here, but I don't have berries. And the good thing though, we have such an amazing weather where pretty much anything you plant here is going to grow. Now obviously, some fruits do better in some climates than others. But with water and this kind of climate, you can pretty much plant anything. So one of the things that I wish I knew then that I'm going to change now is to plant quite a few berries all over because I know they'll do well here. So again, if you're in my spot in terms of worrying about your blood sugar levels, it's good to think about low glycemic index or low glycemic load fruits like berries. So I'm going to have to bring strawberries, blueberries, and just plant them here, and I know they'll do well. So secondly to that, you're not the only person that lives in your home. I hope so. Most of us live with family members and friends and all that stuff. So while I'm thinking about my own healthcare needs, I have to be mindful about what the other people care for. I have to think about what Odedi and the sister care for, my siblings and all that. So it's good to have a variety, but as you're planting your fruits, again, for those of you who have empty property that are just about to be developed, there's all kinds of plants to put in your place, but make sure it is guided by somebody who knows what they're doing. When I started, I was just planting things randomly. So you'll see I have pawpaw trees, I have different varieties of mangoes, most of them are grafted, and then I have a lot of flowers all over the place. Some of them are nice, others maybe will be nice in the future. So I hope you use somebody who knows what they're talking about so that you're really thoughtful about which fruits to plant and how to plant them. And I'll tell you that based on my experience with these mango trees. I don't know if you can see them in the background. There's a couple of mango trees back here, small ones. There's one right over here, and then there's others there. So with grafted mango trees, it's not just a matter of throwing it into the soil and letting it grow. You have to prune it because if you don't prune it carefully, then the lower part, that is a native one, overtakes the grafted section. So there has to be some science to it. If you just plant it, it might stay, because I've had some of these that have stayed here for almost 5 years that have not fruited at all. Because again, at the time I was just planting things randomly. I see something I like and then I put it there. So just make sure you use somebody who knows what they're talking about. And I'll show you in a video. There's a very nice Somali mama who is a good friend of mine that sells trees within my village. She is my go-to plug on all things plants. So again, the overall point I'm trying to drive across here is, if you're just starting out, or if you have an existing home, think about the kinds of fruits you're going to plant in relation to your healthcare needs. Because we all have different healthcare needs. So for me, my goal now is to maximize fruits that have very low glycemic load or glycemic index. Things like apples. By the way, apples are relatively low glycemic load, in part because they have a lot of fiber in them. So I want to maximize the fruits that are less likely to give me trouble. So those ones, even if I overindulge, I'm not too worried yet. But things like pineapples, not bad, but they have very high glycemic index. And that may be a problem for people who worry about the risk of developing diabetes or already have diabetes. So again, my overall point for you this morning is be thoughtful about what you plant and what that means for your lifestyle, especially if you're planning to live in the village like we do for a long time. Because for many of us who are just visiting, it's not a problem. You'll show up here for 2-3 weeks and you're gone, you're fine. But if you are going to live here long term, think about how what you plant here really affects your health. So folks, I hope you learned something, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.